GTA Lost and Dan. We're doing the side stuff. We're stealing the bikes. Double A gamer for life. Okay, so after I think it's like the second mission or something, uh, Jim will call you saying that Angus wants you to steal some bikes for him, make some extra cash. And I must have done about a dozen or so bikes just to kind of fill in the
Why,
gaps.
hello.
Angus, I
And
got a feeling there
I'm
might
going to
be a
cut
bike
out
you're
a
looking
lot of
for.
the in
Got any
between
boy? This
driving,
is
and
import
I figured
export
I'd just
guy.
make a
He's got a
clip of
long
some of the
shopping list.
bikes
I'm glad we
that I
got you to do
stole.
the acquiring. There's a guy detailing
There's
it like
really
he knows
not a
he's
lot
stealing
of
something outside the tattoo
replay
guy home in
value
the
here as
city.
far as
Rock and roll.
continuing to do this. And the money that you make from stealing bikes is not large, so it's really not worth your time to steal a whole lot of bikes. Okay, if you feel like using a cab for these stealing the bikes, that would probably be well. Uh, Basically, after you activate it and he tells you where it is, just follow the marker to the bike. And the first few
No!
bikes, or a lot of them, are just, you know, pick them up. Sometimes you might have to duke it out with a few of the guys or shoot it out, and then you just get on the bike and head back to the clubhouse. So the first bike is in the same island. It's not too far away. Go get it and then just drive it back, and you're going to put $900 into your bank account here. But all the bikes pay $900, so after a while you're just like, it's just not really worth my time to steal any more bikes. But I'm a gamer. I like to do a lot of the side stuff, and you know, like all games, having money does
Angus,
make your
man,
life a little
she's
easier.
parked
There
up
is
outside
no
the house.
safe
Okay, well, I
houses
guess,
or
hey,
anything like
don't
that to
get too
purchase,
fucked up.
or you don't really need to purchase cars or bikes in this particular thing. So so that was the first bike. Let's gonna get to the next bike. Again, you just basically call Angus, say, hey, I got a bike. It's possible you might have to wait 24
Why,
hours within the
hello.
game to
Hey,
steal your
Angus,
next bike.
know
I
any
don't
bikes
really
that need to be
know.
liberated from their
Basically,
owners?
what I'll
I'm glad you
do
went
is
to
I'll
the
go
casino
do
heading
some
east.
side stuff,
We'll
a
find up
race, a
another.
gang
Some
war.
dead beat something outside that
You
liquor
know, I
store
don't
on
know. I'm
Dillon
just doing
Street.
other
Let's
things,
get
and
this
then
done.
in between a mission or whatever, I'll go steal a bike. As far as the money goes, the only thing you could really spend it on is buying weapons. So, however you decide to get to your bike destination, feel free. This one I was kind of wishing that I
Hey,
just took the
dead
bat
beats.
out and duked it
I
out with these
like your
guys. I didn't
bike.
know that they were going to just want to hand-to-hand combat.
Yes.
So I just basically just shot all these dudes.
Don't fuck with me. Oh yeah. I see you. I see
That guy
show's
kind of
over.
looked like Terry a little bit.
Yeah, the civilian town.
Okay, so anytime you get a wanted level, basically just kind of get out of the ring and lose the heat, and then I'll just say take it back to the clubhouse. Okay, so I'm basically cutting out all the driving. There's really nothing going on here. A lot of the bikes are all over the area. You might have to go all the way down to Broker to get a bike. So pretty much just kind of cutting in and out. Get a little phone call from Angus saying good job. So you get our $900 in. But at least like when you do the races and the gang wars, as you progress through them, they pay more and more. We're stealing the bikes, just pay
Hail Fury delivered,
$900.
my
It doesn't
brother.
We'll
ever
pass on the
pay
good
any
news,
more than
Johnny.
that.
Later
So,
on.
like I said, I must have stole about 10 to a dozen bikes just to kind of fill in the gaps here and there. But unfortunately, there's just not a replay value in it. So,
Why, hello.
Tell me where I can find
you
a
know,
bike
along
and it's
doing
yours,
the
Angus.
Lost and Damn add-on, I also, you know, took my friends out, Clay and Terry. We went drinking, we hung out, we went to the strip club,
Let's get this
went
done.
eating. You know, I'd done all that stuff to kind of build up the friendship thing. And pretty much like all games, you know, they give you stuff to do, but once you complete it, there's really not a lot to keep you in the game. The random side missions or whatever. Like I noticed once I completed all 12 races that there's still more races to do, which I imagine is just the same 12 races again that you could just keep doing for more money or whatever. But by the time you get to the end of the Lost and Damned, you should have a nice chunk of money, and there's just I don't know. There's just no point to continue to do that. All right, so once I get down to this particular bike, this guy's just
Hey,
kind of
asshole,
running around. So I'll
fuck
get
out of
off
my
my
new
bike
bike.
and just make my life easy. I'll just shoot his ass. All right, easy peasy. Get on the bike and drive it back. Okay, in general, I do not like the sport bikes in this game on any of the add-ons. Um, I think that the sport bikes handle worse than any other vehicle in the game, and uh, basically Johnny's Chopper is the best handling vehicle that I've ever really drove on. There are cars that are somewhat better for driving. I'm not gonna, you know, deny that. Uh, the PMP 6000 or 600 was a pretty nice car. The FBI Buffalo and the Sentinel were pretty decent cars for Grand Theft Auto, but just driving in this game is, you know, it's something you have to kind of work and kind of get a feel for it. But the sport bikes is just something I would never want to be on. In San Andreas, I would love just to cruise around that game on the race bike
There's too
because it
many
handled,
assholes in
you
this
know,
city on
awesome, and
bikes,
it
my
was,
man.
it
Which one
sounded
tried to
good,
bribe of his
and it
ride?
handled awesome, and it was just a nice thing. And with Johnny on this bike of his, the Hexer, I just love this bike. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's just a nice handling bike, and out of all the bikes, I think handles the best, and that gives like all the sport bikes. Now, as far as the regular game, when you're playing as Nico, whenever I come across a nice sport bike, a PCJ or whatever, I will stash one because you want to have a nice sport bike for when you're doing the jumps. But besides that, I would never really use the sport bike for anything else.
That's the unit from Middle Park East.
And one of the other things that I liked about the Lost and Damned and Johnny is that they didn't do this little pulling a helmet out of his ass to put on like Nico did. Uh, when you play the regular game and Nico gets on a bike, all of a sudden he pulls a helmet out, and then when he gets off, he just throws the helmet on the ground. It was like, I just thought that was just one of the most ridiculous things because, you know, helmets are pretty expensive, and you just can't pull one of those things out of your back. But I'm sure that's a discussion for another day. But okay, so with this bike, somewhere along the line, the tire got blown. So before heading, I was in this area, decided to hit the paint and spray just to kind of get it. I mean, with a motorcycle, if you have a blown tire on either the front or rear, it's just ridiculously handling. Uh, More so on the front than on the back, thing just like everywhere. So it took me a little bit to get to this paint and spray. Not that you get paid any less for the bike being damaged by the time you get back to the clubhouse, but at least the later half of the drive back to the clubhouse was a lot nicer having, you know, good rubber on the bike. So the bikes vary. as far as you know what you got to steal, but they all pay the same as far as what you get. And I picked like 6, 7 vehicles to kind of put in this video,
You and your man
just
have
to
now
kind
got
of
yourselves a PCJ,
do it
man.
because I basically completed the whole add-on, and this is part of it. So just this one 15-minute video on, you know, just some of the stealing of the bikes.
If it ain't my true brother.
Angus, brother, if you were going to export a bike to
So like I
Japan,
mentioned,
where
I
might
definitely
be
give
able
my
to
hats
find
off.
Lad's one's in the container heading
This
east.
bike, this
We'll find up
Hexer,
another. Guys riding it around
is like
Chinatown.
is
Rock and
definitely
roll.
one of my favorite vehicles. I would have pretty much given anything to have this particular bike in Nico's part of the game. I would have definitely stashed that, but uh, with the missions, you know, it's really not, you know, vehicles are not really something that, you know, you got to have as far as related to the mission. So basically, like a lot of missions, you would, you know, go to your marker, activate the mission, and then they will either give you a vehicle to, you know, continue on with the mission. So to bring a vehicle there, you would most likely lose it. And with the Lost and Damned, it doesn't matter what happens to the Hexer. You can always, it'll always respawn here, or call Clay to have a new Hexer brought to you. You know, and that's not the case in Nico's game. So, and with the Battle of Gay Tony and the regular game as Nico, using cabs were pretty much a big part of that. Now with the the Battle of Gay Tony, depending on if you're trying to get your 100% of the mission, you cannot use a cab, but that's a story for another day. But
Yo, brother.
again, we're
Angus,
going
brother,
after another
if you
bike.
were going to export a bike to Japan, where might
Give
I be
Angus a
able to
call,
How about
head
that?
to the destination where the
Just keep
bike's
knocking 'em
at.
out, and you know what? We got another bike lined up. It's in that multi-story car park in Purgatory.
find? All good.
Another PCJ. In one of the races, the race routine had you going through one of the unique jumps, and doing a jump with this Hexer with Johnny is pretty awesome, no doubt about it. I wish more of the races kind of implemented some of the jumps in there, but to see Johnny on this Hexer taking a jump, it's pretty nice. Okay, so with this bike, there's a couple guys over there. I thought they would kind of shoot me up or come after me, but what happens is you'll get a couple of stars here. So before heading back to the clubhouse, you have to lose the heat.
Fast 4 units from Westminster.
Okay, now you're on a sport bike, which you would think is a great handling thing. We've already, you know, commented on all that. But considering I got cops on my case, I'm not going to be wanting to go super fast. It's easier to come correct driving slower. You know, all right, they bashed me this way, they bashed me that way. If you're going fast, it's easier for them to knock you off the bike. And one thing you want to avoid, if you got to want a level, is getting knocked off the bike. And of course, the second thing you want to do is avoid any cops on the road, because they would just easily clothesline you and then bust you. So, but with this one, I was real close to the paint and spray. Just hit the paint and spray and then head back to the clubhouse. One of my pet peeves about the whole Grand Theft Auto was the paint and sprays. I did not like it that it saved the game 3 hours in advance. It was just something that really annoyed me, and again, that's a discussion for another day. But That was definitely one of my pet peeves about the game. So after you deal with the wanted level, just take the bike back, and that's it. So that's going to be it for stealing the bikes. Like I said, I must have stolen like 5 or 6 more different bikes, but I think kind of covered all that we need to cover as far as stealing the bikes and the Lost and Damned. And that's going to be it. We're going to get to doing the races, and I'm going to cover that one achievement for getting wood.
You and your man have
And that's
now
going to
got
be it.
yourselves a PCJ, man.
If I could use my legs, I'd jump for joy, Johnny boy. Later on, brother.
Okay. Gamers for life, lost forever. If you like the videos, you can always support us by checking out the ads.